Hey guys, Zen here, and today we have a new update on the recent leaks for Rainbow Six Siege. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, recently there was a leak floating around the internet that was supposedly for Year 3 Season 4, the Moroccan Operators, and even further with an event called Fallout in the early half of next year. As with most leaks, this was a two-sided coin. Some people believed this to be fake, others believed it to be real. The biggest issue in the leak was actually the photo it surfaced with. It was of the operator selection screen and had icons for two new operators that didn't look super compelling. It was also scribbled all over, which made even more eyebrows raise. There were even some people calling out the fact that Ballistic's icon, one of the operators we discussed, was of a mobile app, just photoshopped in. Now, this is typical with leaks, and this is definitely a big possibility, so again, go into this all with a grain of salt. Now, today I wanted to build upon this. A subscriber sent me another link, and this one looks a lot more legit in almost every way. It's possible you may have seen this image online, but whether you have or you haven't, I think it's important to go over with you guys. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna take you over to my desktop and we're going to physically comb over this entire leak together, and we can come to a decision if this is legit or not. But again, I must stress the fact that this is just a rumor. Take it with a massive grain of salt, and until Ubisoft says anything, it's all just a leak. But now we're headed to my desktop so we can look this over. Alright guys, here we are on my desktop. As you can see, this is the leak in its entirety, and at first glance, it looks pretty legit. I mean, when you look at this operator, Ballistic, he has that same painted operator look and feel that the other operators have. I actually mentioned this with Operation Grim Sky and Maverick. I think they actually went a little further into that art style. But again, it looks pretty legit. You have the operator's name here, the Rainbow Six logo, new operator, the flag, and of course the fact that he is a defender. But there are some falsies here, and I did want to go over them with you. So the first thing that actually stuck out was mentioned by this comment here, and it says, poor Photoshop around the Ballistic text. Now, if you come over to the Ballistic text here, you can see this almost puffy, dark gray cloud behind it. And I'm not sure if that's just something in the background or if it actually was photoshopped in, but it is still that same Rainbow Six Siege text, that same font. It looks very similar. So that's one thing that I noticed. But the big thing that sticks out to me as to how this could potentially be fake is actually the Rainbow Six logo here. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, I believe it was with the start of Year 3, they changed these little dots here. These were stars in the past, but they changed these to Roman numerals. So now if you look at Operation Chimera, Parabellum, any of those Rainbow Six logos, you'll see 3 Roman numerals here indicating it is the Year 3 of content. But this could also mean that this was developed way in the past. You guys also have to realize they don't end one season and just start a new one. They have always had these roadmaps. They pretty much know where the game is headed. And so you can't just declare that this is fake just because of the fact that this doesn't match up. In the past, there have been leaks where this has kind of been off and they've ended up being true. But that's the first thing that actually sticks out to me. The next thing that I noticed was right here, you have this backdrop of this building and it doesn't really look too legit, but you also have this dark gray cloud here that is blended over the top and it looks really unprofessional. Now, there are two things that could obviously be going on here. The first thing is that it's fake and this is just taken out of somewhere. But the second thing is that it's potentially the bio part of the operator screen. So when you go over to their bio screen, you typically have a completely different look and stance to that operator. With Alibi, for instance, she's in some sort of corner. She's got her gun drawn. With Maverick, you have this half regular man in the desert, another half somebody in the street. It's a different look in general. So this could also be from that. But again, you have to realize there is the potential that this is old and we're just making light of it now. One big thing that I wanted to make sure that I pointed out in this video and with this leak is the comparison to Capitao. So for me, right off the bat, when I looked at this and I was actually sent this, I felt as though this is just Capitao. This is some sort of bundle. It's something that has to do with that operator in some other light. But for the past day and a half, I have been absolutely all over the internet doing as much research as possible on every single Capitao bundle, all of its uniforms, the overall look of this operator. And this actually doesn't look anything like him. Now, the first thing that stuck out to me that made me believe that it might be Capitao was actually this arm piece here. It has this folded piece to it, which Capitao actually has. But when I looked back and I went into Rainbow Six Siege and I looked at Capitao, his arm actually has this full like stripe coming down it, and it also has his badge, which would come across about right here. You guys can go in, look at Capitao, and you will see that. So right off the bat, that means that this really can't be Capitao. Also, Capitao always has had cigars in his chest pocket. There's always been 2 cigars here. It doesn't matter the bundle, it doesn't matter the customization. That's a big part of that character and something that gives him a lot of personality. And with this operator, as you can see, there are no cigars here. And I've gone as far zoomed in as I possibly can, and this doesn't look photoshopped. This doesn't look like it, you know, the cigars were taken out and replaced by this flap. It looks like it was created that way. The other piece to the chest in relation to Capitao is right here. It says something like Souza or something like that, and it has some badges and patches. With this operator, it's completely different. Now, I don't know what this is, if this is just some patchwork, a little pocket of some sort, but as far as this vest is concerned, as far as this customization is concerned, this is not Capitao, at least not in the way that we know him. It's possible this could be some sort of Capitao Elite, something like that. But as far as the Capitao that we know now, this is not him. So I'm not really sure what to make of this image as a whole. I do see the falsie here, that weird look behind the ballistic text. I do notice this weird Rainbow Six Siege old logo and just some other things, but in general, this operator looks legit. I could imagine opening up Rainbow Six and seeing this operator. Also, another thing that I wanted to mention, in the last video, a lot of people were saying that why would this operator be named Ballistic if his gadget is some sort of toxic gas mine of some sort? And with Operation Parabellum, before Maestro was revealed, his placeholder name and his leaked name was actually Barrage, and a lot of people felt that that was strange, and nobody really knew how that tied together with a remote turret. But then it ended up coming out that his name was Maestro, and so again, this could just be placeholder. This could be an old name. You don't really know how far back these leaks come from. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about this image specifically is the cutout here. So as someone who uses Photoshop a lot, as someone who cuts a lot of things out, this here, if you come across this line, it doesn't really look super clean. And again, this could just be the fact that the image isn't of super high quality or whatever it may be, but in general, it doesn't look super tight. It doesn't look super clean. It doesn't look like it was hand drawn. It kind of looks like it was taken out of something, but if it was, they've done a really good job with some lighting effects here, and really, this looks good to me. I mean, I don't know how ridiculous, how dumb, how stupid or insane or oblivious I may sound, but this operator right here, guys, it looks legit to me. I can't help feeling that way. So there obviously is some text here, and I wanted to go over all of it. And again, take all of this with a grain of salt. None of this is confirmed. None of this is considered legit until Ubisoft says something. But as you can see here, Moroccan DLC, this is the Defender Ballistic. His gadget will be called the TP08 Mine. And for those of you guys that don't know, we had discussed this in our last video. It's some sort of toxic that can infect attackers in some way. They're considering it area denial, kind of like smoke. So that could be what the gadget is. Then it says there will be a new gadget for defenders. The proximity alarm can be anchored to surfaces or placed on the ground. When attackers walk past, their footsteps will become amplified for a short duration of time. Ops with the alarm will be Maestro, Clash, Ballistic, and Jaeger. So as far as this is concerned, this part of the leak is what really drew me in to make me believe that this might actually be real. It might actually be legit. For those of you guys that aren't aware, back before Operation Parabellum was actually even announced, when it was leaking, when we were making content about the leaks, the voice lines for operators using a proximity alarm were actually revealed. And we have voice lines of Maestro, we have voice lines of Alibi saying that they're deploying a proximity alarm. At the time, I had speculated that this gadget would come with Operation Parabellum. Lo and behold, it is still not in the game, but we do have those voice lines, and I wanted to play them for you real quick.
How does anyone manage to shoot Ash? Her head is so small. Proximity alarm in place!
Bulletproof camera in position.
Proximity alarm active!
Not the protocol. Proximity alarm!
So again, Maestro, Alibi saying that they're using the proximity alarms. It's just very strange to me that now would be the time that we come out with this news and that we're hearing about this. Either this person who is faking all of this is really good at staying on point and being on top of all the news and knowing what's going on, or this is dug up and this is leaked. Because again, the proximity alarm is something we know should be coming to the game at some point. I mean, voice lines are pretty much the last step to putting something in the game, in my personal opinion. Now, as far as the gadget itself, a proximity alarm makes a lot of sense in Rainbow Six Siege. The attackers have drones. The attackers have an easy way to figure out and listen for you if you're hiding around the corner, if you're shuffling, if you're reloading, whatever it is you're doing, walking around. The drones can hear that, and a lot of the times attackers will use their drones more for their ability to hear their surrounding areas than actually just visibly droning you out. And the defenders really don't have that. Of course, we have our cameras, but once those get shot out, you don't really have anything. So if you have this kind of concealed proximity alarm that allows you to hear the attackers, I think that creates a little bit more balance. And with these operators, I mean, I'm wondering what Maestro will lose, whether he'll lose his barbed wire or his deployable shield. Clash, I think her with the barbed wire and the impact grenades is great. So I'm curious what the proximity alarm will replace with these operators. But again, we've heard about these before. We've had the voice lines, and now we're hearing that it just may be coming with this Moroccan DLC. But that is not all. In the last video, we talked about the new event that was leaked called Fallout. Now, that's all we got was the name, but here we're learning that it could be the name of the operation. So Operation Fallout, or potentially this could be the name of the event, because if you guys remember back with Outbreak, it was actually titled Operation Outbreak. So Operation Fallout. It took me a while to actually come up with what LTM stands for, but what I think it stands for is limited time missions. So 5 campaign missions stopping nuclear bombs from launching, with maps such as Airport, Bunker, Highway, Desert, and Capital. So this would be massive, massive news if it's true. And I don't know. I really don't know what to make of that. 5 new maps, limited time mission, campaign. I mean, it just sounds so good. I don't know if Rainbow would really be doing something like that. And again, it was leaked that this would be at the start of year 4. So this would actually be in the early half of 2019. This could make some sense, guys. So in general, this is the entire leak, and I don't really know what to make of it. I mean, there's this piece of me that's saying, you know, this is fake. I mean, there's a lot of stuff wrong here, but honestly, guys, when was the last time that we got a 100% legit leak? It's been a long time. Every time that things leak, we get placeholders, we get things that we don't see for a couple seasons. For instance, even before Parabellum released, we knew about Maverick, we knew about Clash, we knew that a blowtorch of some kind was coming, we knew that Clash was some sort of hole blocker, we knew about these operators a whole season before they even came out. We knew about them before we even had full details of Maestro and Alibi. So there's a lot of things that can be faked. There's a lot of fake news that can come out of this. And like you guys, I just want to get to the bottom of it. You know, this really isn't about anything else other than exposing these leaks to you guys, talking about them, discussing them, and just coming to a bare bones decision as to whether they're real or not. I mean, that's really the only question that's at hand. So really, guys, that's it. We have this image of Ballistic. We have the Moroccan DLC. His gadget will be the TP-08 mine. The proximity alarm may be coming this year. Maestro, Clash, Ballistic, and Jaeger will have access to it. And then in the early half of next year, we may have this thing called Operation Fallout, which will have 5 campaign missions stopping nuclear bombs from launching on these 5 different maps. And this also kind of makes sense because with Outbreak, we got custom maps. I think it was 3 built from the ground up for Outbreak. So having 5 new mission areas that are built from the ground up for this Operation Fallout makes some sense to me, guys. So let me know all of your thoughts. First of all, do you think that this is real or fake? Simply real or fake. Secondly, if any of this stuff is true, what do you guys think about this? I mean, the proximity alarm for defenders, Operation Fallout, limited time campaign missions. I mean, it's just like Christmas for any Rainbow Six Siege player. There's just a lot to go over here, guys. There's just a lot to think about. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. I hope at the very least you enjoyed the video. So let me know your thoughts. If you did enjoy this video, please drop a like and subscribe with notifications if you're new. With that being said, it's been Zen. Hey, I'm out.